Welcome to Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, the big butch manly pop culture podcast that's been known to go up and down a few pipes in our time. I'm Andrew Wheeler.
And I'm Shane Holland.
Today we're talking about the Super Mario Galaxy movie. I don't know why I'm doing an Italian accent. No one else bothers to. A 2026 animated adventure comedy film based on Nintendo's Mario franchise, the sequel to the Super Mario Bros. Movie 2023. Directed by Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelenic and written by Matthew Fogel, the film stars Chris Pratt, boo, Anya Taylor-Joy, Charlie Day, Benny Safdie, Donald Glover, and Brie Larson. The plot, Mario and Luigi and their friends adventure into outer space, where they meet Princess Rosalina and face off against Bowser and his son, Bowser Jr. And one special note before we get started. Yes, this is a children's film. This is not a review for children. This is not a channel for children. Children are not welcome here. Go cry to your mother about it. We don't like children.
Go to your room.
We had to sit next to some children at the theatre yesterday, and it was terrible. Well, I had to sit next to children. You were at the other end of the line.
Oh, don't worry. The back of my chair was being kicked by a children the entire time. Literally. Not joking. I'll tell you what annoyed me more. The mom who kept shouting, "Drew, sit down!" It's like, Drew's not going to sit down. Just let him run around. It's probably less disruptive than you shouting at him the entire film.
Yeah. The mums with the children next to me were sitting the row behind, so they kept coming down and helicoptering them with like drinks and sweets and things and checking to see if they're okay. And it's like, just sit with your kids. Goodness sakes.
Just sit with your kids. Also,
and
I feel
do
like
that at home. Don't bring them out.
I was going to the movies on my own at 4 years old. That's right.
We're the latchkey generation, you know? My parents didn't want to go to the cinema.
Oh my God, my parents had no interest in what I wanted to see. Star
Kids
Trek
today,
again?
you don't know you're born. All right, let's get into talking about this film. Shane, what is your relationship to the oeuvre of Mario?
The character, the lore, the history. I play video games. I know Mario.
You do?
Played a lot of Mario Kart in my time, a lot of Super Mario 3. Absolutely love Super Mario Galaxy, the game, and Super Mario Odyssey. God, I literally grew up on Super Mario. It has been a staple in my home since I was a child. I was very excited to see the first Super Mario movie. I think when it was announced, the world still liked Chris Pratt, and by the time it came out, the world hated Chris Pratt. And when he revealed his voice for the first time, it was one of those like moments. Yeah,
that's what they hired him for.
They hired Chris Pratt Mario. You're gonna get Chris Pratt Mario. He's a voice actor. Yeah. I enjoyed the first movie regardless of all of that. I've also always loved Charlie Day. So, I mean, the fact that Chris Pratt didn't have to do a voice gave credence to Charlie Day not having to do a voice, and Charlie Day is a great voice actor.
Mm-hmm.
But these are children's movies, right? At the end of the day, like you said, there's not much to grasp onto. It's just a lot of like, well, hey, I recognize that, and hey, there's a cameo, and ooh, that's sparkly and shiny. And as for this movie, I liked it. I liked it as much as I liked the first one. I thought it was enjoyable.
That's slightly, yeah. I'm going to say the first one was better, but I don't know how much that matters, honestly, in the scheme of these things.
Yeah, I don't know, like, if I have more to say about the experience of the film. It kind of washes over you. It's a series of vignettes loosely tied together, but that's also kind of Mario, right? Like you're just hopping from level to level, and there were great nods to some of those classic levels. Really appreciated when Mario is in charge of the Mushroom Kingdom and he and Luigi are going around fixing things, and they show us all of the classic levels. Really great scene. Absolutely loved the final boss battle when they are running through Bowser's castle, but it's like that impossible Mario Maker level Bowser's castle with the spinning fireballs and the swinging axes and the rolling spikes. That was really fun. So I did appreciate parts of this movie and the nostalgia bait of it.
Yeah. In the classic mode of our yin-yang relationship, I did not grow up as a Nintendo kid. I was a Sega kid. I had a friend who had an N64, so I would sometimes go to his house to play Mario, but I didn't actually own a Mario game myself until Super Mario Galaxy when I was an adult living in London with other adults, the first generation of adults to never grow out of video games. So yeah, I learned to love Mario late in life, I guess is what I'm saying. I was a Sonic partisan through and through. And yet, do I watch those movies? I don't. And I'm told they're pretty good. So I guess
Maybe
I've
we
moved
need to
on.
watch Sonic next.
Maybe. But yeah, I thought the first Super Mario Brothers movie was really a surprise. It was really fun. I think they did a really great job of translating all of that stuff to the screen. And I think this one was always going to make tons and tons of money. So did that mean that they phoned it in a bit? I mean, I would hate to be the one that says that, but I felt it. That was my sense of it, was that the script wasn't really fully baked. Like there were things that
There
were
was a
not
script.
resolved. Well, exactly. Like the first one felt like pretty tight. I think that's what made it a surprise, was that like they would set things up, pay them off, and leave some breadcrumbs for the future, like, oh, where is Peach from? But in this one, it was like Birdo gets sent off to deliver a message, and then the next thing we see, a message is being delivered by the frog guy himself. And it's like, well, okay, so
Right.
those two pieces don't match up. The dinosaur gets babyfied, and they say, oh, we just keep adding dinosaurs to the party. Dinosaur doesn't show up again. Dinosaur surely was meant to be a third act. You make the dinosaur big again, and he rampages through the castle. Like, wasn't that the point of that? Apparently not. The movie is full of those little things where it's like, here's a setup, do, and we just don't think about it ever again. So I think that's why we saw this with friends. I think to some extent all of us came out of the theater being like, why did the movie end when it ended? Like, what?
That.
It felt so arbitrary.
Yeah, there were a lot of endings to that movie. And also the ending just came so fast. And
Yeah.
yeah, there was definitely a lack of resolution. I mean, a spoiler alert for this movie, I guess. But like, it ends on them rebuilding Peach's castle, and I
Yeah.
mean it. Like that's literally where the film ends, and then Mario she does like a Yahoo, and it's like, oh, we're done. We're just rolling into credits, and then there's a really short little post credit scene that doesn't really feel like anything.
Right.
Yeah,
Vaguely hinting at a spin-off movie, but also setting up maybe the third movie in the franchise. At which point, if King Boo doesn't show up, I've said I'm going to rampage. I'm gonna burn things down. Maybe he's being saved for a Luigi's Mansion movie. I get that Wario and Waluigi are more plausible third movie candidates, but we saw King Boo in this movie, and we still didn't meet King Boo in this movie, and I'm mad about.
yeah, yeah. I hate to disappoint you, but it's absolutely going to be Wario in the third movie.
Yeah, yeah, it
And if it
is.
isn't called Super Mario Odyssey, then I quit.
We'll both rampage. All right, let's talk about the women in this film. There are some. There aren't a lot. There's Princess Peach, and we get the added bonus of Princess Rosalina. And it seems like if you don't have a crown, you can't be a woman in the Mario universe.
This is so true. Well, there is Mayor Pauline,
Not in this film.
but not in this film. Yeah, I mean, Peach is a fully realized character, and I do appreciate that. And most of that does go back to the first film. But we do
Yeah.
get like the lore of Peach in this movie, and she gets her umbrella and she uses it. But like many things, it all falls apart in the third act. Like she kind of has no plan, and it's very obvious to an adult viewer that she has no plan, and it
Yeah.
just happens to work out. But she's cute. She does stuff. Yeah, the hands of it all.
Hey, they set that up at the slightly before the third act of the movie. Yeah, Peach, she's delightfully self-sufficient. She gets to kick ass. Like the scene in the casino is really fun for her. Like they certainly don't diminish Peach's abilities, but they do then have her her choice and her agency taken away at the end by Mario, like locking a door and locking her out of the boss battle. And it's like, okay, that's kind of a Bowser move, dude. Like
Nope.
stealing a woman's agency by locking a gate.
Mm,
Not great.
good.
Not great. And Rosalina, of course, has to be the hostage in the movie. So even though she gets a great scene where she's
Oh,
fighting
great
this giant
introduction.
robot, great introduction. We get to see how powerful she is. And it's only because of her kids being in danger, the Loomies, that she gets captured, which it's a bit cliche, but she had to get captured. Like, that's the plot of every Mario game.
But I don't think she is captured in the game itself. Like, you
True.
meet her on her spaceship and help her rescue her children. So it was
Right.
actually a plot device created for the film that she had to be captured. And I don't know if it was successful or necessary. Like, wouldn't it have been more interesting if they had to team up with Rosalina from the start and
Yeah.
rescue the Loomies throughout the galaxy, and we slowly reveal that Peach and Rosalina are, again, spoiler alert, related.
Yeah, there were definitely ways of doing it that weren't damsel based. Like I can see people watching this video and saying, "Well, but Mario is a damsel based. It is kind of integral to Mario." But that doesn't mean they have to do it every movie. You know, they don't do it every game.
That's right. And also, Rosalina is just such an awesome character design. She's heavy class in Mario Kart, which is like
Yes,
really rude and hilarious. And
she's so
yeah, like
tall.
she's so tall. She gets so much to do in the first act, and then truly she spends act two and three either not on screen or like tied to a cross.
Yeah, which is someone's kink.
Yeah. Oh, it's Easter as we're recording this.
Oh, so it's a Christian evocation. Okay. Oh, well then, great.
I mean, it is a Chris Pratt joint, so
He's not a Christian. He's an evangelical. It's different.
uh, right. Yeah. Oh, so different. Tell me the
Those
differences
people
again.
just worship money. Money is their god. Um, there are two other female characters that I can recall in the movie. One of them is the Honey Queen, voiced by Issa Rae, who again royalty. Like that's
Oh,
3 out of 4 of these female characters have crowns on their heads, so a little troubling. And then Birdo, who we shall discuss, I think, more later. I was glad to see Birdo, but I have thoughts and feelings about how Birdo
yeah.
was represented.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I mean, the Queen Bee cameo was great. Like you
Hmm.
said, it is problematic, but it was a really short and sweet part of the film and very surprising.
Yes. And
But
she's so
yeah, I
big.
think you she's so big. We love a big woman. But yeah, I'm trying to think, like, are there literally any other women who have like speaking roles in the film? I don't think
Like
so.
some of the Loomies might be female. Like they're all kind of agender.
They're non-gendered, yeah.
Yeah,
And all the toads I mean, there's like maybe one Toadette, but even Toadette, who is a character, is not in this film.
true. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I guess it's a good thing that they don't like. It's not a very like the romance between Mario and Peach is not really a focus of the movie. Like it's there, but it's not.
Mhm.
It's not cluttering things up too much. I worry that if Toadette was in the movie, it would be to keep pairing characters up into
Mm,
heteronormative couples. Which I would rather have a Toadette who is independent and willful and self-sufficient, and not a princess. All of these are going on the checklist for the future, for the third Mario movie and on.
yeah. God. So Luigi's eventually going to get Daisy, and it's Princess Daisy, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
She's just a color switched Peach. I mean, which
Yeah.
fair enough. Luigi's just a color switched Mario. Like, I don't know when they decided Luigi was tall, but not in the original sprite, surely.
Definitely not.
All right, since we've mentioned Luigi, let's talk about the boys, of which there are considerably more in this movie. Like,
Oh
a
yeah.
lot of people have no gender at all, but if they do have a gender, there's a way more than 50% chance of them being a boy. And well, shall we talk about Luigi? Because he is my favorite, and you're dressed as Luigi, so I'm thinking maybe he's your favorite too.
I mean, yes, I think I gotta say, the design of Mario in these movies is really cute. I
Ah,
love Mario's hair and how like
yes,
soft and fluffy it is. And he's just a cute, chunky little guy. But
true.
Luigi has all the charisma, all of the charm. I think he's the most likable character in this film franchise and maybe in the franchise in total. And
Yeah.
he's so relatable.
Yeah, he's the true hero because he's scared of everything, and yet he does the work anyway. And that's what heroes do. That like Mario's
Mhm.
cocky. He never has doubts about his abilities, and so that makes him a less interesting character to me. But Luigi, he's scared and he does it anyway. He complains a little. He's
Mhm.
so adorable. I like his hair as well. I think I like his hair better than Mario's.
Oh, interesting.
They're styled slightly differently when the hats come off. And the moustaches are styled differently, which I don't know if that's always been
They
the
are.
case. I just think Luigi would be a good boyfriend to whichever
Oh,
princess comes
absolutely.
along.
Yeah, definitely boyfriend material.
Yeah.
I mean, he's literally a boy, but Bowser Jr. was a really cute addition to the story. Gotta say, absolutely loved Benny Safdie in this role. Uh,
Mhm.
and I found the bedtime scene, the bedtime story with Bowser and Bowser Jr. one of the highlights of the film.
The animation on that puppet show was incredibly good. I'm
Yeah.
glad they got to reprise it in the closing credits because, yeah, they were doing some amazing work with textures and just with flow. Like, I really
Mhm.
appreciated that.
But there is one boy who's, I mean, he's
That's flattering. Yes. Fox McCloud.
great cameo appearance. Can't believe it had to be Glenn Powell, whose voice is so nothing that like I couldn't pin who it was, which is something I love
Huh,
to do in an animated movie.
of
Like I
course.
think I know that voice. And for him, I was like, I've never heard this voice in my life. But my God, he was drawn so sexy. We love a sexy fox. And my God, is this a sexy fox?
It's going to open a whole new generation of fetishes. Furry fandom, I assume, will be all over this one.
Mhm.
Yeah, Glenn Powell is the most generic American. You know, that's his role, and so it was not really a surprise that he would be voicing this character. But he doesn't bring much to the role. It's mostly there in the animation. He doesn't take anything away from it either. Like,
No,
that's the Glenn Powell promise: won't add, won't detract.
I okay, there's a couple cheeky Top Gun references in there, which was nice, but this is where like the writing fell apart. And this was a complaint of yours that I think we need to talk about when Mario says something, or maybe I don't even think Mario says anything. He just like hops out of the jet fighter and Fox is like, I really like that guy. And it's like, but you just met and he hasn't done
Yeah,
anything except hitch a ride.
just Mario, you're so likable. Tell us everything, show us nothing.
Show us nothing.
Chris Pratt has given up, I think. Like his performance kind of did detract, I think. Jack Black
Yeah.
was adequate, but like not as fun as in the first movie, I don't think. Like those two were slightly coasting, it felt like, out of all the recurring characters.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say that Chris Pratt is doing a worse job this time around because the first time around, he also wasn't trying. I'll never get over that they didn't make them do the voice. The voice that we all know. The voice
It's
that
so
many of us
jarring.
grew up with. It's so jarring. And there's no reason to not do it. And anyone can do it. Like it is one of those voices that kids do on the schoolyard and friends do with
Yeah,
each other. And they brought him in there and what? He couldn't. And so they said, just do what you do.
barely even that. Yeah, I don't understand. Did they think that the voice would be too grating? I don't know. I mean, he doesn't talk that much in the movie, even, so I think it would be fine.
Yeah. And not like we didn't even get like here we go or yo or it's a me. Like
I think we
none
got a
of
Wahoo.
we did get a wahoo. Okay,
I
well
think we
it
did.
didn't really stick out.
No.
And only one. Like so many catchphrases, so many little Marioisms, and all of them lost.
Ooh. All right, that's the boys' mixed reviews. Here's something I think we both appreciated very much: the music.
Oh yeah, the music, but just like in the first one, was stellar. Nods to these like iconic themes. I love when they enter the dry ruins cave pyramid cave and you hear the and when they go underwater and you get that da 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 da, like it was all there and it was
Yeah.
all uh, quietly interwoven. And we also got great bursts of the Super Mario Galaxy theme, which
Yes.
which I've listened to in
Da,
isolation
da,
in the
da,
past
da, da, da,
and
da,
got
da.
emotional because it is such a beautiful, beautiful theme. It is just so well written and it tells such a story that when you pair the song with the movie, it actually like man, where was that?
Where was the grandeur?
Yeah, but
I
honestly,
love.
like hearing it was great. The arrangements were wonderful.
Yes. Yeah. The fact that they get a full orchestra in to do these, to perform these arrangements of these familiar themes, that some of which were just like, 8-bit plunky plunk and
Mm.
have never, I think, been. Well, I don't know, probably by now there has been a Mario game with a full orchestral score, but not in my day, that's for sure. So yeah, it's wonderful. It's nostalgia driven, yes, but some of those tracks are really effective. Like, I think Mario has some of the best written music in video games because I don't know, they just really invested in this franchise to make it the sort of the market leader.
Yeah,
I was glad we didn't get a reprise of Jack Black singing the Peaches song. Like, they walked right up to that line
that was a
and
good
backed
joke.
away from it. Yeah, sometimes a movie
Even the
franchise.
kids, even the kids in the theater were like, "No, not again."
Yeah, it's very rare for a movie franchise to know when enough is enough and to just back away. And I give full credit to them for knowing that we did not need to hear Peaches again or anything replacing Peaches, anything in the style of Peaches. Like, you did it, it's
You
good.
almost
Go away.
you almost wonder if they had it in there and they did a test screening and the kids said,
Mm.
"No, not again," and they cut it, and you know exactly where it would have been in the movie.
Yes, yes. Well, sometimes the kids are right.
Mm. Got
Okay.
cold in here.
Next up, the fashion of this movie. Let's just say it. Hove's pretty close to the text, but if I could hit a box and change my outfit instantly, I would love to do that. That would be great.
Same, same. And we got some of the best outfits in this film and like some real deep cuts, like the one level wonder suits, the frog suit, the cloud suit.
Yes.
I love the use of the fire flower to
Yeah.
turn on their power up. That was really cool. And the transformation into I don't know what to call him, like the final form of Mario in the Bowser fight. Uh,
Right.
what that was really spectacular too.
Sort of sleek black costume version of
Mm.
Mario. Yeah, I didn't recognize what that power up was. And it seemed like the main thing it did was let him fly, which is also what the eagle feather let him do in the end of the
And
movie.
the
So
Tanuki
I
suit.
was I was confused about all these flying suits, but it did look slick.
And of course, the cape, the eagle feather cape is just such a classic.
Mhm.
And as terrible as the ending was, if there was even an ending, that is the way that you would want the film to go out.
True. Some great character designs throughout, presumably none of them original to the movie. Like, I don't know where that monkey design came from. I did not like the monkey design. I did not like the Mario baby designs, but they took what I think already exists from other contexts.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
credit and discredit in equal measure for that. I don't recognize those skull-faced guys in that opening desert sequence. I've never seen a game with those in, but I love the
That's
design.
Super Mario Odyssey.
Okay.
And they are like, that is one of the highlights of that game because they are so cute and
So
so
cute.
nervous. So cute.
Poor baby.
Poor babies. Also, Yoshi, the texture of Yoshi was great. And he doesn't really have a costume. He has a shell. He wears glasses at one point. But I don't know. The look of Yoshi is so iconic, and they did a really good job of uh of making that character feel realized. Donald Glover did a great job. And also had the easiest job.
The easiest job, but did the voice of Yoshi, which, Chris Pratt, take note. Like,
Yeah.
Sure, not a lot of dialogue there, but he did the voice. And I would not have known it was Donald Glover. Like he's not creeping through in there. He's
No.
just doing pure Yoshi. Yeah, we should have mentioned him in The Boys, I think, but then again, I don't know.
He lays eggs. He lays
True.
eggs.
He lays eggs. They lay eggs. In terms of set design, such as it is in this context, the villain world I thought was really great. The casino set with the sort of flipped gravity and the Blade Runner skyline outside the sort of their version of the Mos Eisley Cantina.
Yeah.
Those were really cute touches.
Yeah, I also, it was chaotic, but I did like the space hub, the galaxy hub, whatever it's called. That was really fun. And getting to see the Mushroom Kingdom like from one end to the other. Each little vista there was fantastic. Also, I mean, I hate to bring it back to Yoshi in this segment, but we also get New York represented, which must be a nod to the original Super Mario Brothers movie, and B means that Yoshi is American.
No,
I mean,
I'm
that
sure that's
egg
not
was
right.
hatched in New York City.
Oh God,
and he has
birthright
an
citizenship.
American flag on his backpack at one point.
Okay, so there's one good American, and it's Yoshi. I mean, we have to support birthright citizenship, so yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that the current administration is trying to get rid of, let's talk about the queerness of this film. And has the administration already been here?
Their fingers all over it. Well, okay. It's so funny because Nintendo is, for such a risk-averse company, fully admits that Birdo is a trans character. It is in the text that Birdo was born a male, but it lives life as a female. For Birdo to be one of the villainous thugs without a line who gets like casually written out of the script feels homophobic. Transphobic.
Yes. Birdo, a queer character, canonically, and we demand justice for Birdo because she was great in her little appearance, and I was told, I forget who told me, that Birdo was a hench person or a villain in her first appearance. So it makes sense to follow that through in the first movie appearance. But I'm going to need them to step up the Birdo representation in a third movie and onwards. Like Birdo is one of the good guys, and she is a fabulous design, and she doesn't deserve to just be some gangster's mole that gets dispatched in a way that implies she's coming back, and then she does not come back.
Yeah, not a single like noise came from Birdo either, if I remember. And that's disappointing because I feel like Birdo's a really popular character. Like, not just instantly recognizable, but like is picked often in Mario Kart by other players. And it's just it was just really disappointing.
Birdo was the only character that got the recognition gasp from me. I mean, Boo in the carousel in the background got a gasp, I suppose, but it wasn't really Boo. But Birdo, I was like, Birdo! And I heard like a lot of other people react to Birdo. Like our friend Jomar reacted to every character appearing on screen. But for other characters, it was more pick and choose. And I think Birdo got one of the best reactions that I could tell.
Yeah. So it really does feel like erasure. Very pointed. Yeah. Yeah. And then beyond that, I mean, the discourse that we can't talk about gay in kids' movies is just, I'm so over it because we can show Mario like thinking about kissing Peach and eventually getting that kiss and going Yahoo, but we can't have like one Fey Toad in there, not one Fey mushroom or Koopa or it's sad.
Kamek could be a queer-coded character so easily, but it's just not. I'm not getting the vibes. I mean, we do get Toad clearly crushing on Fox McCloud.
Yes.
That we have to allow. I think everyone had a bit of a crush on Fox McCloud, including us. So, there's the least they could do, I suppose, in that regard. Bowser does give Mario a big kiss, and our audience of children all reacted like they'd just seen the most disgusting thing they've ever seen. And maybe it's just because it's kissing, but boy, it felt crappy in the moment, the way they
Didn't hear
reacted.
it when Peach kissed Mario on the cheek, you know?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
The kids are not all right.
No. And when are we going to just see a boy give another boy a combat umbrella? Say, like, if that's what sexuality is in this universe, let's follow through. Let's see boys exchanging gifts. If we can't see them exchanging saliva, which, let's be fair, I don't want to see in a Mario movie. It's not what I'm here for.
Speak for
But
yourself.
gifts, yes. The only
I
other
want to see
queerness I can think of,
strings connecting their lips.
Cruel Intentions style. My final nod to queerness, Yoshi, I suspect, might be a demon twink within whatever species Yoshi belongs to. The
Yeah,
energy
no,
is
that
there.
makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. Real shit disturber, chaos demon.
Anything else from you?
I started off this episode saying I liked it. And the more I think about it, the less I like it. And I hate that
Oh,
I've done this to myself.
we enjoyed the movie when we saw it.
Like,
But yeah, I had a feeling it wasn't going to have the legs of the first one. But then again, I don't think I've rewatched the first one. I don't think I'll rewatch this one. It's not for me.
no. And even as someone who likes Mario, it's not for me. Like, this is,
Yeah.
they truly are kids' movies, and that's great. We need them. Well, not we need them. Kids need them. And they're fun. It was truly a good popcorn movie. Like I had a good
Yeah.
time seeing it with my friends, talking about the cameos and the gags afterwards. And then the conversation veered into, well, it was a little disappointing. And I was like, no, 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 we're not going to ruin this experience. And then we came here and did just that.
I'm so sorry, Shane. I'm so sorry.
It was
But
worth it.
that's what happens when you talk about a movie. You get to the truth. All right,
No, no,
let's
no, no, no.
rate this movie. We give every movie that we review a score out of 5 for our base score. We then rate it on the gay score on the 5 categories we've just discussed. So the women, the boys, the music, the fashion, and the queerness. Shane, what are you going to give this movie out of 5?
I'm going to give it a 3. Like, and I was debating giving it a 2, but I think 2 is too harsh. I think 3
I think so.
because it is a serviceable film.
Yeah, I was kind of always on track for a 3, I think, with this one. It just sits very comfortably in that sort of, it doesn't over deliver and it doesn't under deliver. It's just fine. What about the women? Does it get a point for the princesses?
I'm not going to give it the point because
Oh,
Peach was much more interesting in the first film, and Rosalina was a little bit of a letdown.
Rosalina was a damsel in distress. Yeah, I have to withhold the point as well on that basis that there are so few women and one of them spent the entire movie in a cage. What about the boys? Luigi, Fox McCloud, Toad, Yoshi, maybe. Debatable.
Maybe. Mario, maybe. Yeah, you know what? This is a boys' film, even though there are plenty of girls in the audience. But
Yeah.
I'll give it the point for the boys. You came here for the brothers.
It's a boy-coded movie. I'm going to withhold my point on this one, though, I think. I think it's marginal case. Yeah, I don't know. It just sort of... I think what I need is more Luigi. I think I need Luigi. I need that Luigi's Mansion movie. That will get me...
It's
That will
coming.
get a boy point.
I guarantee that film is coming. There's
Oh, for
no
sure.
world in which this like multi-billion-dollar property doesn't make a Luigi's Mansion film.
Yeah. The music.
The music will get a point. The music is fantastic.
The music gets a
The
point.
music is maybe the best part of the film.
Yeah. The fashion?
Yeah, you know what? I'll give it a fashion point. The suit, the power-up suits were great. The set design was all fantastic.
Yeah.
And I love the textures of everything.
Yes, the textures really are kind of what sell it for me. Like, I think aesthetically, it's a really satisfying movie, which is why the Mario babies really stand out to me as something that I just repulsed me. But that's babies generally, honestly. I'm going to give it the fashion point as well, which sounds strange for us both to be giving the fashion point to a Mario movie. But here we are. And now, equally strange, let's discuss the queerness of this movie. Does it get the point?
I think it subtracts a point, but I will say no, it does not get.
Justice for Birdo, no points for queerness. So You're giving this movie a 3, and I'm giving it a 2 on the gay score. Do we think this movie deserves to have a point taken away from it for anything offensive or
I mean, it is like designed to be inoffensive.
yeah.
So no, I'm not going to give it a penalty.
So that means it gets a 6 from you, a 5 from me for a score of 5.5 total out of 10, which is basically equivalent to the 3 out of 5 we gave it for its base score. Thoroughly average experience.
I'm so glad we did this.
Well, if you enjoyed us taking a dump on this film, you can find other videos of us loving and at times not loving movies. Just check out the feed for our discussions of movies and TV shows, from Young Sherlock and One Piece to Barbarella and Danger Diabolique. We've done some odd movies. You can also, of course, click the like button and subscribe to this channel. And why not drop a link to this video in the group chat so your friends can check it out as well. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, kiss kiss.
Bang bang.
If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button and subscribe to this channel. You can follow Kiss Kiss Bang Bang on Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Letterboxd at KKBBpod, or email us at kisskissbangbangpod@gmail.com.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is recorded in Toronto on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabeg, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples.